what's up, guys? Got another new video for you. This is DENT SPORTS here, coming at you with the Week 13 NFL review. My name's Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
Steve. Don.
And obviously the week still has a handful more games left, but thankfully, all of our teams are done for this week, so we get to save the beatings till next Sunday. And we can say we're done with this. So we're going to bring out this video for you and get into the surprising action, although I wouldn't say any of it was really surprising. As a matter of fact, the only team I thought had a chance to win this week did win, and everybody else did, pretty much whatever. So anyways, let's go ahead and start with the Bengals. They were taking on the Dolphins today and ended up losing the game by 12 points in total. Honestly, the Bengals defense did a really good job today at keeping the game close. The offense struggled, to really no surprise, and it is what it is. I felt like it probably, by all rights, had a lot of chance to be worse than it was, so for that, I feel like they did a good job. And honestly, I think, like we talked about in the preview, this is kind of what you want it to be, come out there and lose without making it look like you're just trying to tank. And I feel like that's pretty much what they did today. They came out, they competed, but they lost, so that's a win. I think they won today. I really do.
No, I would agree. I think that's exactly what they need to do. The whole goal for the rest of the season should be to tank. Get, as high up there as you can so you can shore up either the defensive line or the offensive line. One of the two. Whatever one you don't feel as though you're going to be able to handle through free agency. So, in my opinion, they're doing exactly what they need to do. None of the fans are going to be upset because they know they're not going anywhere anyway. So,
at least you'd hope.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter outside of, just the pride of wanting to win a game. But,
yeah,
truthfully, right now, they should just continue to lose it.
Yep.
And, be in the games or whatever, just, not, you don't want to get totally blown out every game, but, as long as you're in it and you lose, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Next year, if Burrow comes back healthy, then he'll be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, this game was, pretty much exactly what we thought. Pretty much a game I see every week where the offense sucks. Defense plays their tails off. And then they just, keep on going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and then eventually the other team's going to score. So, again, it's just the typical what to expect. Congratulations on the Bengals for stepping up on the keeping the spirit alive of the Bengals. Since Burkett got arrested for assault this weekend in Vegas, nothing else to celebrate it and go freaking assault some Dolphins. So good job by them.
Not to be outdone.
To keep up their honor of wearing their stripes. Behind bars. So good job, Cincy.
There's a reason where black, orange, and white were the colors of prison uniforms.
The penitentiary.
Yeah. So
great job.
Yeah, great job by Tyler Boyd first by getting in a scuffle over something stupid, and then us managing to land a late hit. Early hit, actually, on a special teams play, and that led to a scuffle in itself. So that was really nice. But you know what? I got to give props where it's due. The defense is playing a lot better than I really would have expected. I loved how they looked today, surprisingly. Some weeks they just are inconsistent, though. Some weeks they show up, play pretty well, and then other weeks it's like, is there even a defense on the field? So, it's just one of those things, and, offensively, the typical, we have, one good drive, and then pretty much are silent the rest of the game, as of recent, especially since Burrow went out. Seems like we're only putting up like 7 points a game, which is kind of ridiculous. I mean, if you ask me, I don't care who the QB is. I mean, you gotta put up more points than that and actually give the defense some time to rest. You know, instead of going 3 and out almost every drive that we're out there. So, you know, it's just one of those things, I guess. And then, you know, we're giving up 6 sacks today, which, you know, against the the Dolphins defense, I guess that's not really much of a surprise because they have been pretty dominant as of recent. The Dolphins defense has played pretty well. We got dominated in time of possession, had to punt 6 times. We actually were below them in penalties this week, though. I cannot believe it. And that's something I've noticed over these past couple weeks is that we're not getting penalized as much as we were. And that's you're noticing the difference. We're not necessarily you know, having to go. I mean, we still are, considering, you know, we got so many injuries and stuff and the O-line just sucks. But I mean, generally we're not in 3rd and 15, 3rd and 12. Yeah. We're not beating ourselves as much as we are, you know.
Well, we'll see what the backups, if it's the same deal, because you're going to see
Ryan Finley.
We're going to see 5 or 6.
It's QB carousel.
We're going to see 5 or 6 backups in the first half of the next game because they all got ejected, right? 5 or 6 players. Yeah. And that's for a full game, but because it happened in the second half, they'll miss the first half of next week.
Yeah, you know, the crazy thing. The nice thing like is, you know, we got a couple players injured now. Jonah Williams got carted off the field, and then Christian Covington on our D-line got injured as well. So, probably the next guy that's going to be on the field, I'm not even going to know who it is. So,
things are looking up.
Yeah, you know, it's just a really, I don't know.
Well, it sucks. It sucks, but it is what it is. I mean, this wasn't unexpected.
No, it wasn't. So. But at the same time, I mean, I got to give them props for at least being in the game and competing.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. Absolutely. All right, let's move on to the next game. Lions took on Chicago in Chicago and managed to pull out a final minute win. Basically the exact inverse of what happened the last 2 times these teams played on week 1. So I guess you could say all is right in the world now.
Yep. Yeah, you know, hard loss for the Bears. You know, blowing it in the final minute. Sounds like something the Lions did on week 1, like he said. So, you know, I guess it was karma, I guess. You know, the Bears really have been playing some crappy football as of late, and it just has continued on to this week. And, you know, it was a very rare occurrence where they put up 30 points, though. So, I mean, that's pretty cool in terms of their offense.
Dad really enjoyed it.
It is pretty funny, though.
Lion defense.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, we all ended up pretty much being right, though. I'm pretty sure all of us picked the Lions this week, right?
I think most of us did take the Lions, yeah. Or maybe everybody, but I could be wrong.
But
regardless,
nonetheless, I mean, it was.
Well, we thought the Lions had the best chance out of all the teams up here to win. I remember that,
but nonetheless, I mean, good comeback win, and you know, I don't see the Bears doing anything after this. They're crap. Same with the Lions, but Bears are even more crap for losing 6 straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is total game reversal. Again, like usual, I mean, you expect Bears to have good defense. Then they give up 34 points, you know, and then Trubisky doesn't throw an interception today, which is, again, rare. So, again, it was like, you know, a vortex of oddities or whatever you want to call it, you know, to occur here. But, again, it's, you know, the Bears who who we thought they were. They suck. And so this is what it is. But, hey, good job by the Lions, with new coach per se running the helm. So they actually played well and pulled out a W. So, glad Bluto left.
Yeah, and they seem to be glad as well from the media reports and all this stuff. So, but anyway, good performance by the Lions. Way to come back and win the game. Like I said, pretty much the inverse of last time. They were down pretty much the whole game, came back. Last time they were ahead the whole game and blew it. So, great job. It seems like, the game was pretty much won through the air, because they only had 60 total rushing yards. But, sometimes that stat can be a little bit misleading, because a lot of times they also include sacks in the rushing category. So if he took some sacks, if that gets minus from the total, it may have been more. But the leading rusher only had 57. So I'm going to assume that's not necessarily the case, which was Adrian Peterson. And, I don't know. It was a good win, but you'd like to see the running game maybe do a little bit better. But against the Bears, it's going to be tough. So it is what it is. They found a way to win regardless. So good job to them.
Yeah, it was nice to see him get a win. Most of the things I've read since the games ended have more or less been Bevel for president. Shooting the gun off like this guy's some genius of a coach. And I'm like, well, you just got lucky is all you really did. You shouldn't have won the game. You were down the whole game, and people were writing about what a great comeback and how, if Patricia was there, we would have never won. And to me, there wasn't much difference. They said that the offense was, ran a little bit differently than it has been the last few weeks, which may have or may have not. I don't know. I didn't see the whole game or nothing, so I'm just going by what I saw. But it was very good to get the win. I would certainly agree. I think at this point, we're not going anywhere, but I think it is cool to get some victories. I'd like to see him get some wins, and maybe that'll keep Galladay around, or, if things are going the right direction, that would be nice. But it was a good win for him, but, I'm not going to sit here and suggest we're going to the playoffs because we won against the Bears, who are just as bad as we are, if not worse. So, it may have been a victory, but not much of one.
Yep.
So,
final comment about the Bears. If they had Teddy Bridgewater right now, I think we'd be having a different team.
yeah, we'd be having a different conversation.
Yeah,
sure.
Much different. But they passed on him for Foles, and now Foles is hurt and didn't really play that well when he was in there, and Trubisky sucks, so here we are. But
it's going to be the same thing. If you don't have a running game, Bridgewater would be cracked too. You know what I mean? It's just like everybody else. If you don't have any way to balance it out, it's like Stafford. I'm surprised Stafford's still standing. Yeah. Because you don't have a running game, you're just going to get hit.
Yeah.
And it's a ticking time bomb. So once it goes, it goes. Again, it's just what bad teams do.
Yeah.
It's as we sit with all four of us here, it's the same story for all of our teams.
Right.
They all suck.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
There's nothing to be happy about. Really, nothing to be happy about. Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, let's
Moral victories. Yeah.
Yeah, let's continue the trend of unhappiness and get into this Eagles game. Congrats to the Lions, but now let's get back on the losing streak here. They had a game against Green Bay on the road and lost.
Is that all you gotta say? Oh
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. It's typical Eagles game, right?
What?
Wentz not getting rid of the ball, just the typical things that happen every week with the Eagles. The defense didn't show up today, really. Gave up 30 points. Granted, I didn't watch much of this game, but from what I did see, it was
flawless.
Well, yeah, it wasn't all that great of a showing. I mean, they were in it. I mean, one thing I will say, though, is at least they got started off in the first half all right. And that's not something that generally happens either. So, yeah.
I mean, they played what they usually do. I mean, it was a good start. I mean, it was 3-0. Wentz seemed to know what he was doing back there in the pocket. He was getting the ball out early enough. Defense, again, was playing well enough, considering it was the Packers. So they weren't really getting torched. But, again, everything starts to creep up back to tendencies, and it's all the bad ones. And then next thing you know, the offense sucks, and then the defense is sitting out there, and then you're just going to give Rodgers more and more chances to torch you. And then, next thing you know, you're down 23-3 going into the fourth quarter. So pretty much game was over, and I think they just let off the throttle at that point. And then, Hurts came in, and everybody's like, ooh, bedazzled with that, but it's the same show. Once they're able to get a playbook on him, it probably won't take much to crack him. From what I've seen so far, and especially being his first year, no matter what. Just like you've done, Burrow is 10 times better than Hurts, and he only has 2 wins and a tie. Right. So you're going to tell me that Hurts is going to automatically take this team to promised land and win out or whatever? Ain't going to happen. It's the typical situation where they're at, and now they're even in a painted corner now, because now with all the other BS they got going on, now they're going to throw a QB controversy into it, and then I think the coach is on a hot seat. It's just really bad. I mean, it really now looks like that the missing piece and the most important piece that they didn't keep was Frank Wright. And so
Amen.
That's what it is there. So again, eventually the holes are being found on this team, and that's what it is. And that's the reality of it. And I think Philadelphia's going to have to accept it, that this is what it means. Where we're at, and I think it's going to be a rebuild. I think they're going to have to can everything and pretty much start over with what they got, because this isn't working. And hopefully Peterson has his resume set up so he can go back and kiss Fat Andy's ass in KC when Bieniemy goes, and hopefully he can get a job back.
Yeah, about accurate. That's about an accurate statement, truthfully. The way I see it is, horrible play calling on the Eagles' behalf. It seems to be week after week after week of the same problems.
First I'm hearing about it.
They've had their share of injuries and stuff, and we always go round and round, and talk about the same basic garbage every week with all of our teams, not just the Eagles. But, Jalen Hurts, he's not. It's nothing. It isn't any different than Wentz is, really. Wentz is mobile, so they're not really gaining anything with Hurts. Like Don said, it's once they get to look at him a little bit, they'll have him bottled up in no time. The question is, from an organizational standpoint here, is A, what are you doing with the coach? Is he staying or is he leaving? B, what are you doing with Wentz? Because if you bench him this coming week, you're pretty much telling him he's not the future. So, he's going to be looking to get out from underneath that bullshit, which, in my opinion, he caused a lot of his own demise. It's not, some of it's injuries, but, he's just making a lot of mistakes and hasn't been playing very well. But with that being said, as far as this game went, it was actually closer than I expected it to be. I thought, the defense actually didn't play all that bad. Green Bay's not the easiest team to play against, but offensively, it's the same old problems. They can't get a running game going. Passing game's inconsistent. Quarterback play is horrible, regardless of who was in it. So that's just kind of where they're at right now. And I think they have some major issues to figure out come the end of the season. And if I'm an Eagles fan sitting here, I don't want them to win any more games. I mean, cash it in. Try to get as high as you can in the draft picks to fix some of the problems. Because, I mean, even if you get to the playoffs, you're not going anywhere. It's one and done. And being in the playoffs at 6-10 or whatever the fuck they're going to end up at, or
is embarrassing in of itself.
If they're lucky enough to get to that point, I mean, it's just not worth it. I'd rather see them just say, fuck it, let's lose every game, and do what they've been doing, and then try to fix it through the draft. So. Yeah.
I agree with that assessment. I mean, it's difficult because, you never want to just see your team just go out there and throw out a losing effort for the simple purpose of giving up on the season. But at the same time, especially with the Giants beating the Seahawks today, we don't really have a chance. We don't have to play the Giants again, but, I mean, come on. I could see this coming. I mean, we had the Browns, the Seahawks, the Packers. I think we got the Saints and the Cardinals. I mean, good luck on any of those games with how we're playing. And then we finished the season with the Cowboys in Washington. But by then, I mean, if other teams still have different people, like, for instance, Washington had to play Cincinnati, who's without Burrow. And, I mean, I don't know who the other teams have left, but I think the Giants have to play potentially Cincinnati, or the Cowboys do, I know, have to play Cincinnati. And so they're going to probably end up maybe winning that game while we just keep losing to teams that we're not supposed to beat because of the way that our schedule is set up. So, I mean, it's just like we're pretty much out of it. So, in some respects, I completely agree. But getting into this game, the sad truth of the matter is that every single week, pretty much, I come on this stupid show and I talk about how the team doesn't look prepared. They don't look ready. I don't know if they're not watching film or what the case is, but they come out, they look like crap, and by the time they get things figured out, the game is over. This week, we came out and looked really damn good. The first drive, they came out there, they got the ball first, they went down the field, and then they ended up settling for a field goal. And, that sucks, but it is what it is. It's points on the board. Great job. Something from the offense that we have not seen, which is them come out and do something good. Then the Packers get the ball 3 and out. On top of that, the punt that they kick sucks. So we start at our own 40. We drive down the field looking like we're about to score again. First of all, I can't remember what the first play was, but it went nowhere. I believe it was a run for a negative gain or something, and then there was a penalty, something stupid. Then we're still in field goal range. Wentz gets sacked once, and I'm like, okay, that sucks, but let's just do something, get a couple more yards back. At least we can kick a field goal. He gets sacked again. We get taken out of field goal range, and woohoo, let's send the punt unit back out there. And from that point on, it just was straight trash after trash after trash after trash. On defense, it was just not good because of the fact that they just had people out there making plays. As simple as that. Adams, nobody had an answer for him all day long. If the ball was thrown in his direction, it was caught. Simple as that. He had a touchdown play in the end zone on the first drive. Slay was all up in his grill. He had his hands in there. He played the ball as perfectly as you can, and it just didn't matter because Adams just wanted it more and came down with it. Simple as that. I mean, it was not bad defense at all. He was on it, and the guy caught it. And that's just what great players do. They make plays. Speaking of great players, when you're against Aaron Rodgers and your offense can't do anything, you're going to lose because you're not going to keep Aaron Rodgers bottled up for quarter after quarter after quarter. And as good as the defense did, the offense didn't move the ball. So what do we have happen? Therefore, Aaron Rodgers gets out there and basically just picks apart the defense systematically. By the time it's halftime, it's not looking good, and it was just really, really sad. And it's just so frustrating. And then he talked about the running game. The sad thing is, on the first drive, we actually ran the ball great. We were running the ball. But then they just completely went away from it.
Sounds like a couple teams in this.
We completely went away from the running game. And it was sad to see because Wentz wasn't having a good game. And we went away from the running game until we were behind by so much we couldn't afford to run the ball anymore. And that's frustrating because if in the first quarter, we had time of possession at like 12 minutes to 3 minutes for Green Bay. You cannot ask for any better, especially on the road in Lambeau in crappy weather. You cannot ask for better. And why was that? It's because we were running the football. So play calling, what in the hell are you doing? Doug Peterson. And here's the gem of the day. Listen to this. You will never believe what was said at halftime. Doug Peterson, this is not a joke. This is something the reporter said, okay? Doug Peterson tells the reporter at halftime that he felt they got away from the running game a little too much and need to get back to it. You're the one making the play calls. You idiot. How in the hell are you going to say something like that when you're the one making the play calls? Are you kidding me? We got away from the running game too much. Yeah, you did. It's not some guy over here or some guy over there. You are the one making the play calls. How in the hell are you going to be so ignorant to make a statement like that when you're the one making the play calls? That was, oh my God, that was the icing of the afternoon when I heard that reporter say that. She's like, yeah, we talked to Doug Peterson and he said we got away from the running game a little too much. Well, guess what? You're the one making the play calls. You're the one in charge of this clown show. What the hell are you doing? That was just, oh my God. I felt like Stephen A. Smith on that one. You're a damn point guard. I mean, that was essentially what this is. It's like, dude, you're getting paid and you're the one doing this. How are you going to sit here and say, oh, well, we made some mistakes and didn't do this as if it's someone else's fault? You're the one running it. You're the one doing it. If you can't see, and it's nice to say in hindsight, oh, maybe we should have ran it a little bit more. Here's an idea. How about you try doing it during the game and actually implementing it? Because guess what? Usually the weakness of the Packers is that they don't generally have a good run defense. So run the ball. Keep Aaron Rodgers on the sideline. It's cold out. Like Don said in a handful of videos ago, let him go sit by the heater. Keep him on the sideline. Let him go sit down and watch as you run the ball. But no, instead we're throwing it all over the place, and you might as well have just put the game in your hands and thrown that too, because that's exactly what they did. Here's another thing. Avonte Maddox, you need to go. I am tired of watching you look like roadkill out there, just having people catching balls over you, around you, through you, running you over. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Enough is enough of that one. Here's another thing. Okay, coming out of the second half, we just heard from Doug Peterson, the mastermind, who says, hey, maybe we need to commit to the run. Maybe we need to do that, right? Here's what they decide to do. Instead of running the ball on first down or maybe second down when we could actually do something, the first time they run the ball is on 3rd and 19 when they're down by 17 points. That's a great one. Woohoo! Good job. Way to commit to the run. Way to listen to your own damn report, your own damn statement. Run the ball for the first time on 3rd and 19. That's going to go places. You suck. Speaking of sucking, what the hell is going on with Travis Fulgham? I mean, that guy had the highest completion / catching, whatever, yards in the league for a span of 4 weeks. He was the best receiver on the field, according to the stats. dude has literally disappeared. I mean, he's like...
Milk carton.
Yeah, no kid. I mean, not even kidding. Did he even have a catch today? I don't think he did. Like, he literally has just completely disappeared. And I'm just sitting here like, what? How? I mean, you were supposed to be this up-and-coming young player, blah, 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 all this stuff. And literally he had zero receptions. Not a single one. So great job on that one. Speaking of, holy crap, you want to talk about horrible play calling. They did not even, and this is the biggest thing too. They did not even target Alshon Jeffrey until the second half, midway through the third quarter. I understand that maybe this guy's been injured. I understand that maybe he's not performing to the level that you like, but you signed him to be the number one receiver on this team. And then the trade deadline came and you did nothing with him. You still have him on your team. I don't care if he's maybe not the greatest player. You didn't even target him in the first half. This guy is supposed to be the number one option on the team, and you're not even targeting him. So here's what I want to know. Why the hell did you even keep him on the team? Because at this point, to not even target him in the first half, I don't even care that if he's got issues with the team or whatever, I don't care. This guy is still an asset on your team, and he's athletic, and he's a good receiver. He may drop some balls and stuff, yeah, for sure, but at the end of the day, he's not better than Travis Fulgham, who disappears, and some of these other guys. He's not worth a target? Are you kidding me? You know? This guy's supposed to be the number one receiver, and he didn't even get targeted in the first half. Speaking of which, Zach Ertz only got targeted once. I mean, who's in charge of this? It's just so bad. And then on top of that, we're actually making a comeback with Hurts in there, and we end up going to a thing where we would go down by 6 points after Rager returned that awesome kickback for the touchdown, or the punt return, I mean. And Jake Elliott missed another extra point. So then, instead of being down by 6 with the potential to get the ball back, go down and score, and take a lead, we were down by 7 points, which would have only tied it. Didn't matter because, we got the ball back, did diddly squat with it, so it didn't matter anyways. But I'm just saying, come on. That is a crucial freaking extra point right there. That wasn't just like, oh, it's the beginning of the game, haha, I missed it, that won't happen. No, it was in a crucial point, and he missed the extra point, and that's just so freaking annoying. That's 2 weeks in a row that he's missed an extra point, and like I said, it didn't matter. We lost anyways, but it's just annoying. But it's just the play calling, the head coach. I'm not a fan of his right now at all. Whoever is calling the plays is just not doing a good job. And the biggest thing is that it's not like this team has no weapons, but when you have one of the best tight ends in the league only get targeted one time in the first half, what are you doing? You need to freaking use the assets that you have. Enough fooling around with this guy and that guy and, oh yeah, this is a nice up-and-coming player that we really like. Screw that. Enough of it. Just use the people that we have. I honestly don't even think at this point that it's a lack of talent. I think it's a misuse of talent. Miles Sanders was running the ball great. He got 10 touches total, and I bet 4 or 5 of them were on the first drive because they didn't go back to it. And it's just a misuse of talent. We got Jeffrey out here, didn't get targeted to the second half. They were using Dallas Goedert, that's great. But then Rager, he was pretty much not used. And then he scored that kickoff thing, but they hardly went to him. And it's just like, it's one thing. I understand that Wentz needs to get better, and I understand that Hurts is not this and not that, And I also understand that the offensive line could be better and all this other stuff. And Wentz needs to get rid of the ball and blah, blah, blah. You guys know the story. I've been saying it for about 15 weeks now. But the thing of the matter is that when you got people on this team that have talent and have ability and should be in the game and should be having the ball in their hands because they're playmakers and that's what they're on the team to do, that's what they're getting paid for, and they're not even getting targeted or thrown to or anything like that, it's no wonder that we're losing. It is just no wonder that we're losing. I mean, if I have Zach Ertz on my team, I'm going to say basically that he is my first option no matter what play it is. And then if he's covered or he's guarded, then I'll look at some other people. But we have been missing Zach Ertz for weeks now. We finally get him back, and you only target him one time in the first quarter or first half. So as far as I'm concerned, I mean, really, what did they miss him at all? Do they even care that he's back? Apparently not. I mean, I understand also trying to ease him in, but if you're only going to do that, then he might as well not suit up. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, just stay on the bench because somebody else could have been targeted one time in a half and done the same thing probably. But it's ridiculous. It's the same show every single week. And once again, like I said, you get down by so much, then you finally make a comeback, but by then it's too late. And then the only thing is that, you know, we finished with 17 points 3 weeks in a row, but instead of doing that, we missed extra points, so we finished with 16. Woohoo! Way to break that trend, but guess what? You did even worse. So that's just ridiculous, and that's on completely on coaching. And then the defense didn't play well today, but that's only because it's expected. When you go against Aaron Rodgers, how many defenses play great against Aaron Rodgers? Not many. There's a reason he's one of the best quarterbacks. So when that happens, you need the offense to be able to do something, and for the majority of the game, they weren't able to. And therefore, you just straight up lose. And that's that. I mean, that's hell in a handbasket for you. If the offense isn't doing anything and you're going against Aaron Rodgers on the other side, have fun. Good luck out there. I'm sure, I mean, shoot, he can tell you. He faces him twice a year. If the offense is doing nothing and you got Aaron Rodgers on the other side, good luck to you. You're just going to lose 9 times out of 10. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what's happened the majority of the year for the Eagles. And that's what's going to probably continue to happen as we go against the Saints and the Cardinals. And then what'll be even more fun is if that happens against Washington and the Dallas Cowboys, because I can't stand those teams. So then it'll make me even more upset. So, woohoo! Can't wait for that. But that's enough of this because, I mean, it's the same story. Replay the tape from weeks 1 through 16 or 14 or 13, whatever the hell week we're on, and you'll hear the same story. The only difference is we actually started with a lead and then managed to do it. So, woo! All right, on to the Broncos. They were the 5 o'clock game against Kansas City, and, you know, for the most part, copy and paste what I said about the Eagles, and here we have the Broncos. Defense did a hell of a job today against one of the top, if not the top offense in the league, but offense wasn't able to do enough to make it matter because on multiple plays, you know, they went down there and had to settle for field goals, or they just, you know, did something wrong and didn't end up getting the number of points needed. He always says, get to 24. They didn't do that. But the sad thing is that Kansas City didn't get to 24 either. So you would think, oh, well, if they didn't get to 24, then we should have this game won. But they couldn't get to 24. And it's just unfortunate because, you know, the defense really played lights out. And, you know, surprise, surprise on that one. How many weeks have we said that in a row? And if they had some form of an offense, you know, maybe that would have gotten better for them. But, you know, as it stands right now, it's just going to be the same show. And eventually, I mean, I think in one of the games, one of the defenders had enough and got physically upset and pushed a coach or something like that. And honestly, I think he's kind of lucky it doesn't happen every week because it's it's the same story. It's just a different offense or a different team that they're against. And I don't know what needs to change to fix that. I mean, I think it's probably bigger than just saying, oh, we need a new quarterback and it's fixed. Maybe it is the quarterback, maybe it isn't. But at the end of the day, I don't think the schemes are very good. I don't think that they use Lindsey enough, which, no surprise there. We've heard that one before as well. But, I don't know if they misuse the talent or if they need to invest in different people. But one way or another, until the offense gets better, it's going to be a lot more of the same thing. And I'm not just talking about this year. It'll probably just continue. And that sucks, but that's how I see it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, defense played lights out, offense struggled. It's just one of those things. I mean, it's a typical game. Seems like, we're saying the same thing every week, and it doesn't change. But then again, they did have a better performance this time against the Chiefs than they did last time, so I guess that's a positive. But, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add to what's been already said. I think if we took all four of our teams and took the prime players off of each, we might have a decent team there. But I have yet to see a coordinator on any of our teams that would get us anywhere offensively. I mean, holy shit. Like I said down earlier tonight, I mean, I really thought the defense played exceptionally well, and as they do every week, it seems like. And I mean, the fact that they're coming up short all the time, I mean, I can't imagine guys like Chubb and some of these guys that are just busting their tails and really overachieving due to all the injuries they have. And then on the defensive side, and I can't imagine the locker room scene must be too good. I mean, honestly. I mean, the defensive guys are going to be going, what the fuck? Hey, you guys think you can score maybe 21 points this once? So I don't know. It's just, I have really nothing else to say. It's just a bunch of frustration. All of us sitting here are all in the same boat, and like he said, I mean, you can virtually sit here and say the same thing for all of our teams. It's always the same problems every week, same issues, nothing ever changes, and we move on to the next week and talk the same crap we just got done saying. Just like I used to complain about every week, Patricia's press conference was the same. Well, so is this show. Every week we're saying the exact same thing.
Yeah, the difference is though is that we're not getting paid. We're not getting paid for
the
this.
The only thing that changes is sometimes the jerseys might be different.
Yeah, that changes weekly, pretty much. But apart from that,
we can wrap up every show with basically the same sentiment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, I mean, we're gonna sit here. We're gonna be 0-11 now against the Chiefs in the last 11 games. So that's not good. Tonight was another freaking wasted performance from the defense. Although the defense could even played better if they weren't playing Dancing with the Stars with the tight ends and wide receivers. Yeah. If you actually would tackle the guy instead of just doing the hustle with him, it would be nice as well. At least just grab a leg and hold on to him and let somebody else clean him up.
Yeah.
But, that didn't happen. And, of course, not enough quarterback pressure, so you're going to get chewed up by Mahomes' arm angles and contorting his body. Yeah. And you don't even hit him when you have chances to hit him, so just might as well hit him. When they run the option and he wants to throw the ball, good, let him throw the ball, but you clean him. It's not smart. I mean, it's just logic, right? Mm-hmm. Raider football, right? The quarterback must go down. He must go down hard. You know what? If he's going to sit there and put himself in harm's way, put him in harm's way. Because obviously our quarterbacks do that. They put themselves in hard way, and guess what they do? They get hit. Stafford's been clocked. Burrow's in the hospital bed because he got clocked.
And Wentz is in and out of one.
He gets clocked out all the time.
Yeah.
So again, it's the same thing. It's like, well, what are you thinking? You know, everybody else does it, so why don't you? Nothing really. I mean, hey, we actually scored touchdowns this tonight, so that was actually something that I usually don't see very often until the end. So that was actually kind of nice. But big thing I have a pet peeve was right before half, up 10-6, and I was like, well, you know, worst case scenario, we just go in 10-6. That'd be the best scenario we have. So they actually go in, and they get to the midfield, and they have a third down and some odd number. They throw a screen pass out to Fant. He has an offensive lineman in front of him. And he has Mayhew, who's a safety. We have the Honey Badger.
Yeah.
That fat guy should just waylay to that Honey Badger and would have been like, what are you doing? And Fant should have just went,
yeah.
Even with him missing on the Honey Badger, Fant should have been able to miss Honey Badger because he's on the ground. He should be able to run right around him and go down to how many yards? At least another 10 or 20.
Yeah, for sure.
Could almost scored.
Yeah.
So no, what does that do? He falls down and goes boom and sits on his ass, and that puts us out to a 57-yard field goal.
Yep.
Again, we pay Gooch good money to kick these damn things. So what does he do? Shanks it left. Well, that gives Mahomes the ball at midfield. Good luck.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the defense was able to stop him. But again, guess what? They put 3 points on the board. Make it 10-9. Well, if you take 3 points off the fucking Chiefs score, that makes them 19, right? You add 3 to the Broncos. What do you have? 19. Not to mention, he went for a 2-point conversion when he was in the front, in the lead. Why?
Yeah.
Take the points. So guess what? It's 20-19. You walk out of Arrowhead with the W. But no, we're going to play fucking analytic game, which doesn't work. You've seen the analytics in the election. They're huge.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell? Who cares about the computer spreadsheet? Go play football, will you?
Yeah.
Punt the ball, we need to punt the ball. Go for it, we need to go for it. Do football things, not computer analytic things. It just irks the shit out of me. But anyway, back to the normal at hand. Again, 16. Doesn't get the job done. You're going to walk home with a loss most of the time.
Yep.
Actually, almost every time. Yeah, team just needs, again, replay it over and over. Team needs to get better. We're trying our hardest. We're reading the playbooks. Man, we're doing a great job, best we can, but, you know.
Yeah, from that standpoint.
Yeah.
That's a Patricia quote every week.
Yeah, exactly.
From that standpoint.
But yeah, it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing over and over again. It's like, no, you need to improve. You just can't be status quo because guess what? You're losing. You need to make a change.
Yeah.
So again, it's just frustrating. Again, I come from something that, you know, this shouldn't piss me off because guess what? It's a short amount of time. You know, it's 5 years, right, that I'm doing with this. But again, it's really tough coming from the days that you know. I mean, this is pre-77 football that we're looking at from the Broncos. You know, this isn't what, you know, we're accustomed to playing all the time. We should be in playoffing. We should be like the Steelers. We should be like these teams. Every year, move us in. Nope. We're sitting here at freaking 3-6 the last 5 years. You know, this is just complete utter crap. But again, like we always say, it needs to make changes. And, you know, like we say, I think it's ownership on down. If John needs to go, John needs to go. This should have been the first thing that we said, or at least I know I've talked about, is we should have kept Lynch. Lynch should have been the GM. John should have been the owner. We could have got Shanahan as a coach. That would have solved all the answers right there. Boom, boom, boom. We're good. Good to go. But nope, this is where we're at, and it's a mess. And it needs to get fixed, and it's probably going to take a while.
Yeah.
So it's going to be several years of this, which I've already had the 5. So just might as well go with it. I'm glad I was able to see the 3 Super Bowls in my lifetime and all the losses that went with those 2, because it might be a while before I see another one. So, which kind of sucks, but oh well. It is what it is. On to the next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Repeat, rinse, repeat.
Well, I can guarantee you one thing: we'll be watching more tape than the freaking coaches, because literally, I said in the last video, and I'll say it again in this one. I mean, especially when we're on here and we're watching Red Zone or whatever, or he's at work and he can only watch bits and pieces of it, and we're all sitting here and we see what the issues are, but then week to week we see the same product, the same mistakes, the same this, the same that on the field. What in the hell is going on with that? What are you? Yeah, from that standpoint, what are you getting paid for? What we should be getting paid.
Well, we're actually doing it at live. We're doing it in live actually, because this is recorded. When we're actually watching the games, we're telling it what's happening in real time.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's
just like, what the hell's going on with this?
Yeah. So again, what are they doing? Why are there no adjustments being made? And that's not just my team. That's not just his team. That's his team. That's his team. It's even teams that we aren't talking about on this channel. It's the same freaking shoot off every week, and we just sit here and we say, boy, if we can figure this out. Why are the coaches not doing what needs to be done? I mean, how hard is it to sit here and to tell Wentz, dude, you don't have time to hold on to the ball. I don't care if you think you have all day. You either need to catch the ball. You have 1, 2. You either need to be moving, scrambling, or you need to throw it away. Or you need to find a receiver, and that's all the time you have. It doesn't matter the week and stuff like that. Just get rid of it. That's not hard. I mean, that's really not hard. And if they're not doing it, I mean, I'm sorry to say, but I don't think he's, that stupid. I don't know. Maybe he is. I don't know. I mean, if they're watching the tape, he should know what the issue is. And it's just the same garbage week to week. And that's why I personally get so upset. I mean, again, I was not coming into this Packers game thinking we were going to win. I mean, I knew we were going to lose. Same with the Broncos against the Chiefs. Haven't beaten them in 10 times. And you've got injuries. I mean, good luck. They're one of the best teams. It's not like we were going into this game thinking, oh, we got this in the bag. And both of us were on the road, too. So that doesn't help. I mean, good luck winning in Lambeau. It's hard for any team, let alone ours, who's struggling. But when I see the same garbage every week, and it seems like nothing's being changed, and then people are sitting here wanting to blame Jim Schwartz and some of these other guys when the offense is anemic. I mean, it's just, from that standpoint, I don't understand.
From that standpoint.
I don't understand. I mean, we really just are bad. And I think a lot of...
Matt.
Yeah, and
got
then...
some stuff to work on.
And then,
do a better job.
And then on top of that, the Giants beat the Seahawks. And what do we have? We've got freaking Doug Peterson sitting here saying, oh, well, I think we kind of got away from the running game a little bit too much. Yeah, well, guess what? You're the coach, moron. Hello. Only you can fix that. You're the one calling the plays. Idiot. Oh, man. On grounds of that statement right there, he should be fired. That's it. He should be fired for saying that. I don't care about his record. He should be fired for saying that right there. You're a damn point guard. All right. Anyways, if you guys like the content, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Check out DENT Sports for weekly reviews and weekly cuss-out sessions and screaming and yelling about the same things we talk about on this show. Make sure you check that out. Check out Clip Join as well for Clippers news and stuff like that. With that being said, I'm Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
Steve. I'm Don.
See you guys in the next video.